This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today on Adventure Recreation Trends with a focus for architects. Let's get started. My name is Leslie Amico, and I'm the sales manager at AquaClimb. I've been working in the outdoor industry for about the last 9 years now, and 8 of these years I've been providing climbing wall solutions. So we have an exciting agenda lined up, and let's just dive right in. AquaClimb's mission is to build courageous kids for life's great adventures. We provide innovative adventure recreation and fitness solutions to pools worldwide so that kids of all ages, yes, that includes everyone, 5 to 65 plus, so that they can step outside their comfort zone and experience risk in a safe, controlled environment, which leads to a wide range of health benefits for participants involved. These are some of the customers we work with, customers that understand and seek out the benefits of rock climbing and adventure recreation. Many of you might be aware of the physical benefits of rock climbing, which include developing strength, flexibility, and balance. Mental benefits include problem solving, critical thinking, and perseverance. You can see that on our climbing walls in this picture here, we place our handholds in such a way to foster creativity and encourage problem solving, challenging the climber to identify the next best handhold, which to grab and how much to most efficiently climb up the wall. These handholds can be moved around over time to change up the climbing experience and keep participants engaged and coming back to your facility again and again. Individuals who have difficulty concentrating can often develop like a mental focus through rock climbing. A feeling of accomplishment might also be seen as a mental benefit. This feeling often encourages increased physical activity in order to meet the next challenge. So let's take a look at some of the trends that are taking place in the industry. We're seeing that amusement is no longer a passive activity. Adventure recreation brings thrills and excitement of an amusement park ride or water slide, but in an active format for all ages. We're seeing an increase in the participation of rock climbing countrywide, even globally. More commercial climbing gyms are being built each year following the popularity growth of rock climbing. And interestingly, commercial climbing gym attendance typically decreases in the summer, so adding a poolside climbing wall can give climbers a local outdoor alternative. And climbing will also be part of the 2020 Olympics, so you can imagine there'll be continued increase in demand for climbing activities following the Olympics next summer. So why not start planning for the boom in new climbers next summer? Other adventure recreation includes zip lines and rope courses. These elements continue to grow in popularity with new attractions and facilities being built all the time. We'll talk more about new products from AquaClimb that'll bring adventure recreation to your pool in a safe and encouraging way. Another big trend is the combined space of both a competitive and recreational pool. What's taking place here is that you can increase your revenue and decrease the downtime in your facility. Whether you are a new build, a renovation, or simply rescheduling your programming for the season, there are many ways you can look to combine these theories and trends that are occurring across the marketplace. A great place to begin is with an audit of your space. So you'll review your pool schedule. What do you have for staffing? Any constraints? What are the pool depths you have available? And what deck space is currently underutilized? So gain a general sense of what's currently taking place at the facility. Then take all that information and then identify what part of the population are you missing? What demographic isn't coming to your pool? So, and then think about ways and how you can attract them to your facility. Some common groups that aren't showing up and we're seeing in the trends and ways to attract them include teenagers who seek excitement and active recreation, much like we talked about earlier in the macro trends. So perhaps you want to target young adults in the evenings for more of a training component, such as stand-up paddleboarding, or maybe you're targeting seniors, so you'll have to offer water aerobics on Tuesday mornings, perhaps. If you're planning a new build or renovation, the trend we're seeing is to get community input early on during the feasibility stages, so well before formal design. Ways to get this insight might include offering meetings for input at the library, putting together planning committees, email surveys to citizens or patrons of existing facilities to get their input and ideas. And then you want to identify what kind of programming you'd like to offer. And with that, what deck space do those activities require? So we're seeing a trend in deck space that recreational pools will need a little bit more space than competitive pools. Some will even say that for recreational pools, you take the pool square footage and double it to account for adequate deck space to allow for all the amenities that recreational pool goers seek out and enjoy. And you also want to take time to consider design for the surrounding areas of the pool. So like shade, seating for competition swimming, things like that. And successful programming also requires more than just putting the program on the schedule. Marketing the event is important, and to ensure repeat visitation, you'll want to look at things like the pool temperature. So young children and seniors typically prefer a warmer temperature than competitive swimmers, for example. So overall, we're seeing a trend towards gaining a wide audience to capture all the demographics in your area, all to the same space, regardless of age or income. And with a focus on not only attracting new members, but identifying ways to engage your existing guests. So how do you attract new guests and engage your current members? Commonly with updates to your pool and addition of new elements. The third big trend we're seeing is making changes to the facility through updates. We're seeing a growing trend to replace such elements with climbing walls or adventure recreation features like our Aqua Zip-In or the Aqua Ninja, in addition to the climbing walls. So within a few hours, an AquaClimb product can be added to an existing facility without any other changes to the space. Some facilities, however, prefer to swap out elements rather than adding to the deck. So perhaps they like to save that precious deck space that we talked about earlier. As an example, like a popular trend when updating a pool is to remove an older element, such as a dive board or an underutilized slide, with an activity that engages targeted demographics, such as the teenagers or your 20 to 30 something year olds. We just released a great case study actually on a dive board replacement at one of the pools in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, where they had two dive boards and a separate dive wall, and they replaced one with a climbing wall that allows for up to two climbers at a time. So I'll be sure to send a link, include a link when we send out the webinar recording to share more details on that exciting project. And earlier, I mentioned how rock climbing is in the 2020 Summer Olympics. The growth of the sport and trend to include it in pools was recently supported in the latest aquatic trends report issued by Recreation Management. The study reports that those looking to make updates, or of those looking to make updates, 24% of facility operators plan to add a climbing wall in the next 3 years, which brings the climbing wall addition to the second most popular element to add to a pool. So updates to pools and elements can be driven by a need to stay current with new health regulations or situations where keeping an older, rundown elements have become cost prohibitive. Plus, replacing an element would likely engage members and bring in newer guests from your targeted demographics. So as we move into ways to incorporate AquaClimb into your space, I'll touch on the trends we've just described. All these AquaClimb features shown here have a very minimal footprint, protecting that precious deck space that we mentioned earlier. They're also modular to accommodate various programming, And particularly the climbing wall is an element that we've seen be removed with ease for like a big swim competition, for example, where viewing might be a top consideration. So we'll start by looking at the aqua zip-in. It works by grabbing on the Tarzan rope swing and taking a leap of faith as you swing out over the water. Once you reach the termination point on the frame, you hang out until letting go, splashing in the water. The rope self-retracts then for the next participant to enjoy a turn. So thinking about your space and what is available, 4-foot water depth is all that you'll need to include this fun feature. If you spend any time with young children, they love to repeat activities again and again and again. The aqua zip-in suits this age group perfectly as they can cycle through dozens of times within an hour to burn off some of their energy. Of course, it's not limited to just the little kiddos. As we've seen, also teens and adults will have a lot of fun on it as well. Here is a screenshot from our installation drawing, which shows that the overhang into the water is about 8 feet, give or take, depending exactly on your pool deck and where you anchor the frame. And then here is a plan view of the anchoring, where you'll see the frame requires a total of 8 anchors into the deck, 4 per foot. So shown here is 1 foot, showing the acceptable distances for anchoring the back anchor. And then the aqua zip-in really becomes suitable for pretty much any pool deck design, even those with really wide gutters. And here, this view shows you how you'll need to leave a minimum of 8 inches of concrete before installing the front anchor for structural purposes. And then here's our newest product, the Aqua Ninja. This exciting element is both physically enduring and challenging. So if you're targeting teens or young adults, this feature would be a great programming addition. So as you can see here in this participant, his upper body muscles are fully engaged because of the challenges created. And as shown here, the participant enters from the deck, climbs across until they reach the splash point on the other side, and then dropping into the water, if you can get all the way across. The unit needs a minimum of a 4-foot water depth, just like the aqua zip-in, and it spans over 20 feet of water. We can also offer greater distances, offered typically in like 5-foot increments, so 30, 35, 55 feet, etc. So bringing warrior ninja play to your facility brings new members and engaging existing who are seeking out adventure recreation. So as the sport continues to grow, with rock climbing gyms popping up all over the country, being included in the 2020 Olympics, you'll likely see patrons push for a rock wall addition sooner rather than later. The climbing walls have both physical and mental benefits for participants, where they can test their strength, balance, and flexibility. At AquaClimb, we truly recognize the mental benefits of problem solving, pondering which handhold to grab next, having fun while falling off the wall midway, and trying their hand at it again until they gain a sense of accomplishment by reaching the top panel. Climbing walls make it fun to fall. Plain and simple. So we have a wide range of climbing wall products to meet various pool designs, programming goals, and budget constraints. Rest assured, we have a package solution that can meet your needs to bring in new guests. Here in this picture, it's showing our entry budgetary model, the Classic, which offers clear flat panels and customizable heights and widths. Versatility of the wall is through moving around the handholds to change up the climbing experience. The photo shows a 2-panel wide configuration designed for 1 climber at a time. And then moving into our upgraded Classic Plus models, these models include 3D contour panels to enhance the climbing experience as they replicate natural rock terrain. Shown here is a 5-panel tall by 3-panel wide configuration which would allow for up to 2 climbers at a time. And the Classic Plus panels are also what we call translucent. It's a popular choice to provide privacy for the climber as they ascend the wall while still yet affording lifeguard visibility behind the wall. And these models also offer added versatility as you can rearrange the panels in addition to moving around the handholds. In this photo, you're seeing a popular configuration to allow 2 climbers as well. They're just spaced apart. So, in this image, as well as this one that you're seeing here, when you can include programming for 2 participants, a fun marketing piece that we've seen would be to offer climbing events for teams to race up the wall or create little fun competitions as an example. And climbing wall pricing is based on 2 key factors: which model you're looking at, and then which configuration. So your panel height by your panel width. The climbing walls can be expanded over time as programming and budget grow, much like Legos. So here we're showing the curve model, which uses a unique wave-like frame, quite different from the Classic and Classic Plus models. Maximizing the height of the climbing wall to your water depth is something we typically recommend before you expand the width, because it's more economical to expand the wall across rather than up. And when looking at space considerations, the climbing walls will require a minimum water depth of around 5 feet, going upwards of 12.5 feet for the taller configurations. And then the curve shown here is a 6-panel tall configuration, offering an exciting 20 feet of vertical climbing height. So that can definitely get the blood pumping. And this photo shows a great combination of a curve 6 high and then an aqua zip in. So here they're offering programming for all ages and skill levels. And then here our sport model is our most premium offering with heights over 22 feet of climbing terrain. The frame of the curve and the sport can attach to either the pool deck, or if you'd like to save that deck space, you can also mount it to a concrete pool wall, as shown here in this photo. And then we just had a question that came in, I think because of probably this photo, where they were asking about lifeguards. So we don't require a dedicated lifeguard, but we do recommend lifeguard supervision for all the products. Some facilities do choose to include a dedicated lifeguard, just depending upon their operations, their pool layout, things like that. We do include, as you can see in this picture here, we post rules on an A-frame. It's like an orange A-frame that's sitting there on the deck to help with lifeguarding. So it posts the safety rules that we would require. Great question. So to accommodate various programming, like bulkheads or pool covers as well, we also offer a flip kit model with all of our climbing walls. It's an option to select. And this option, it would include a lower panel that flips up out of the water, kind of similar to what you can see here. And it would hinge and lock up into place. So as you consider your space, what are some design considerations to keep in mind? The Aqua Ninja and Aqua Zip-In work with as low as 4 feet of water depth. The features all require about a 5-foot fall zones on either side of the structure. So for example, the climbing walls need just over 13 linear feet along the pool edge with a 5-foot minimum water depth for the entry height configurations. So to give you kind of a visual, as you can see in this photo, the climbing wall can be located towards the edge of the deck if it opens up into water. And so when you look at like the fall zone or your drop zone, the minimum would be in the water would be about 13 feet going along the pool edge, and then going 9 feet out from the pool wall. And these features, so as you can see, the AquaClimb features would take up not only minimum footprint on the deck, but also minimal footprint in the water. So it really allows you to accommodate a variety of programming offerings. And then AquaClimb products also accommodate pretty much any pool deck profile or design. Specifically, the base of the climbing wall needs to remain level. So we provide custom mounting hardware when needed to accommodate various pool deck profiles. So if we're seeing, say, a drop or a rise in the deck greater than an inch, we'll use elevated anchors or support legs as an example. And that's what this photo is showing here, And here's a plan view of some of the climbing wall bases. So the base of the climbing wall comes pre-drilled with ample anchor holes to accommodate your pool deck. You only use about 4 anchors per wall section for an installation. The one on the right here is showing our larger base, which would take 6 for the taller configurations. And our installation drawings will show numerous anchor bolt patterns that can be selected to ensure that your installation meets all manufacturer requirements. And we had a couple questions on installation on the first webinar, so I went ahead and added in a few slides on this topic. Here, you'll see a picture of what your wall ships as. So your wall arrives via freight carrier on a pallet packaged in a box. If you have a forklift available, it'll be easier to take it from the truck to the pool. However, you would also be able to open the box and hand carry the wall components in a few trips to the pool. And the wall ships mostly pre-assembled with all your handholds attached to the panels and the panels attached to the frame. We recommend checking the tightness of the handholds before you put up the wall, just because they're a little bit easier to reach when it's not up. You can also see in this picture here that white, we use a special custom foam packing to help protect it in the shipment. But it is good to point out you always want to, this orange sticker is a great reminder that you always want to check the package to see if it did get any dings up along the way, just to notify it on when you sign your bill of lading with the freight carrier. They're not all perfect, so. And then our products are designed for self-installation within a day using just basic power tools. So on a new build or renovation, we recommend installing the anchors once the concrete has cured rather than shipping embeds out early. And then once you've selected the anchor bolt pattern, you'll drill through the existing holes in the frame to set the anchors into your deck. I did get a question, someone was asking about how heavy the pallets are. That, with the pallet, it can range anywhere from 400 to 800 pounds. So there's all a lot of steel inside them. So just to kind of address that, it is nice to have one person could probably do the anchoring work that you're seeing here to get the anchors installed on the deck. So that's actually just where we're jumping into next here. So once anchors are in place, it's a bolt together system. And here's where you'd want to possibly, bring on a few extra sets of hands to help lift the product into place. Since, as you can see in the photos, dimensionally, they're quite large and awkward to lift up. So if you can get a couple lifeguards or volunteers to help kind of lift it into place, it's great. And then the product installs within a few hours and they're ready to go that same day. So to recap here, today we went over a lot of exciting information on adventure recreation. As a company, AquaClimb offers innovative equipment that builds courage, confidence, resilience, and independence for life's great adventure. We've seen trends where pools are including active rather than passive entertainment, and facilities are co-locating competitive and recreational pools to reach a wide audience. That way they're attracting new guests and engaging existing members. We're also seeing many facilities are updating their pools and elements to meet these trends, where a recent report indicated that adding a climbing wall to their pool is the second most popular planned addition. So because AquaClimb products accommodate a wide range of pool designs with minimal footprint both on the deck and in the over the water, they're easy to implement into your space, whether it's an existing facility just prepping for the summer season or under a bigger construction project. So adding adventure recreation elements helps to capture additional demographics, increasing facility revenue and minimizing downtime at your facility. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I appreciate your time and interest in learning more about adventure recreation. Any additional questions? I'll take a look here to see if we've got some additional ones that came through. Someone did ask here about pool covers. So not sure if you're meaning pool covers for your pool itself. Yes, we do have solutions to accommodate a pool cover. That would go back to this image here that we saw with like the flip panel, the flip kit offering. That would work with a pool cover as well as bulkheads, things like that. We did previously, a while back, we offered covers for your climbing wall, and it would cover the backside. But we actually discontinued that. We don't recommend using that. One reason is that it's nice to give visibility for the lifeguards behind the structure. Another reason is, as you can see in this photo, particularly for an indoor facility, it's great to allow natural lighting to pass through. So you're not getting dark spaces in the pool. So it helps with natural lighting. But great question. All right, well, if anyone has any other questions, follow-ups, I'd be happy to answer them. I know there's a lot of information to take in, so feel free to reach back out if you have additional questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day.